Peace, assalamu alaikum, hotep, namaste, jumbo, ashe, shalom. All the greetings of love and light to the darkest minds of the light. I am Napah, Shadah, and it's Saturday night where I am. It's not quite the next day. It's August 8th, and I wanted to come on and just let everybody know, promote this for my brother, our brother, King Simon. I'm excited to join him. I will be doing a show with him on August 18th. You know, I'm sure he picked that date for a reason because he is a master numerologist. And I'm really interested in what we will talk about. He actually chose the topic, and I love it. Women debating in this community, in these forums, on these platforms, and the metaphysical. We're going to discuss metaphysics, of course. So, excuse me, I yawn. Yeah, so this is going to be great. Let me get something. I'm going to just put this up here. Where is I want to put the flyer up. It is on the thumbnail. It is on the thumbnail, so it's already up, but oh, here it is. I got you. I got you. I got you. Let's get this up here. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, yeah, I'm excited I'm looking forward to just that whole vibe. The whole energy over there is so awesome. And, you know, get to let your hair down, so to speak, and talk about things that for that audience, it's normal to talk about metaphysics and the paranormal, all the good stuff that we want to get into. So I'm really excited. Here is the flyer. Napah, Shadah. And it says how women in the debate forum have reshaped history and her story. King Simon's cool. He's on another level. So this is a friend of Sonnetters and a friend of mine, a friend of the community. He is definitely an OG. I just want to quickly come in, promote this. Don't miss it. Go over there. If you're not subscribed already, come on. You got to go subscribe to his channel. And yeah, it's really great to discuss. Oh, it's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And so we're really going to get into some good stuff. I'm going to really make sure that I have everything organized. You know, it's good to just go with the flow, but I'm going to have some points that I want to cover, like, of course, my expertise, which is life cycle. And part of life cycle is I'm very focused on the afterlife, thanatology, near-death experiences, actually death experiences, when people return. We'll talk about the watchers. I call them the watchers. Not the watchers in a negative way, though. Spirit guides that are present in this realm, meaning in this material world. Madonna, everybody looks at Madonna like she's just, frivolous and just on the surface, but that's a deep song. We are living in a material world. So we all are material in this realm, but we'll get into some ancient spiritualism that ties into the matter, like how I did that, the matter of materialism, not materialism in the sense of science and looking at only what is the natural world. However, it is a natural world. I just, when you do things like what I just did, it's almost like a paradox. Well, let me put it as a paradox. The spiritual watchers that are assigned to every being that they actually had a hand in creating, they are spiritual beings that can transition and transmutate and mutate into anything. When we look at Genesis, I think it's chapter 1, verse 26, it says, you have dominion, you as a human being, you have dominion over the earth. Okay? You have dominion over the air. You have dominion over the water. You have dominion over the fire. You have dominion over the spirit, which is the ethereal. Okay? The spirit within the material world. It doesn't say that specifically. I just gave you the decode. I gave you the decode of what is hidden esoterically. The exoteric says, I give you dominion over the fish. That's the water. I give you dominion over the birds. That's the air. I give you dominion over the beast of the field. That's the earth. I give you dominion over the creeping things. When you hear creeping things, you think bugs, but it's fire. Fire creeps. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to really bring as much as I can. It's all spiritual. And so here is it. This is going to be a quick, I'm ending this soon. Here is the flyer. And share it. Share it on your social media. Share it on your Instagram, TikTok. Share it on your Facebook. Share it with your friends and family. It's going to be so smooth and so sweet. Meaning, uh, uh, it's not going to be, even though it's about debating as well, it's not going to be any type of, how do you say, contention or pressure, even though pressure is often good. The coals under pressure turn into diamonds. So that's about it, Dottie. I will read the chat and I will leave. I will skedaddle. Um. Oh. I don't think Cam Up is coming back. It's the round table though, Nike. So go over there and subscribe. The round table is actually tomorrow. That's a good question. Cam Up, beautiful. I did cam up a little bit, but it's so late. It's funny how somebody said, she's catfishing. I don't know, I've never, if you know me, I show myself in all kinds of different, you know, in different ways. I'll show myself just chilling, no makeup, natural hair, just getting up in the morning, running, walking. Well, I don't really run anymore. Walking. Um, I'll show myself all glammed up. You see me. You see me with all the makeup and the glam. I like it. It looks so good. That's not catfishing though. Some idiot was like, "You catfish." Cause I glam up sometimes and sometimes I don't. It's all good. It's all I want to talk to you about Burned Beauty. Dang, I love that woman. I want to play this video. Let me play this video. Gosh, I want to show you. Let me see if I can play it. Give me a minute. She talks about she was a beautiful woman before she got burned. And she was like, I was always looking at myself and scrutinizing myself. I love this picture because even though I think it's AI generated, I sent that to him and I like to see the bags under my eyes. I've had bags under my eyes since I was 7, 8 years old. They weren't just, when you get older, they are more prominent, but I've always had bags under my eyes. I like it. I like it. You know why I like you know what I'm noticing, everybody? Also with my music, but everything is so perfect. I always like to go against the grain. I like to be different. I like to dress differently. I like to dress, kind of like when people are like, what is she wearing? I've always been like that, kind of like, not kind of, just like like when you see Lisa Bonet, there are people like, what is she wearing? I always have done that, and so has my sister, my older sister. I kinda we like I like to be different. So what am I getting at? Yes, I glam up sometimes, but I really enjoy being imperfect. You look at yourself, and I have been a very strong critic of myself. Like, you'll hear me say, "Oh, I look crazy, I look ugly, I look fat." But that is something that women have been programmed to do. I'm not I'm not excluded. And that's just something we do when we really don't think that about ourselves. We join in. It's like a culture. It's a program that women say, "Oh, I'm so fat. Oh, I'm so look at my bags. Oh, I'm so tired. I'm so this." Even when people are looking at you and they're like, "You look fine to me," you know? So, um, I'm liking being imperfect. Now I get why a lot of women are doing that. Like, they're taking off their makeup, showing themselves. It's so liberating. Like Pamela Anderson and even Zendaya, it's not just older people, like just showing their bare selves. Some women go as far as to like show their bellies, and I think y'all don't like her, but I like her, Stacey Dash. She was out there belly flopping on our video, and she looks so sensual and so alluring. It was beyond sexual because what it did was it was like she's past there's the maiden, which is the virgin, the mother, and the crone, like the older, and she's in the crone stage. And as the crone, though, she was still exerting or exuding her her sexual fertility. Like, even though she isn't fertile in her age, like she's in her 50s, it was like it's like a glitch. Like, wait a minute, why are you doing that? Why are you beautiful? And why can't I see your belly? And you don't care that it's a little pudgy. You're like, and she was dancing. It was so cool. And you know who else does that? The Oracle, my dear friend, who I love very much, Sophia Stewart. She wears cleavage, and you know what I mean? It's the paradox, it's the contradiction within self. It's it's like the pun. It's like, wow, wait a minute. Why is she looking alluring and she's supposed to be old? Now, older doing that more on the internet. For me, I think I don't I don't I don't look down on grandmas out there that are looking sexy, but sometimes they're doing stuff that's vulgar and they don't have to even do that. Like sitting with sitting like with their legs legs. Hold on a second. Okay. Sitting with their legs all, spread and stuff. That's too much. But um it's like when you see women who are just like me, just being like, yeah, I may not be fertile, but I still represent fertility as a symbolic woman. So let me read some of this. Get what I'm saying? I kind of went off on a tangent, but I'm going to talk about some of this in the stream coming up on the build because we will talk about women debaters. There is, I might have, I definitely will talk about the fertility and the sexual aspect, not in a sultry way, but like how there is this like this barrier of, oh, I don't want to debate you. And if I do debate you, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be like a, a competition of, who is the dominant one because, men dominate women in society. But I come in and I change that. I'm like, oh, you're not going to dominate me. You're wrong about that. And then they get quite angry. These men get quite angry when you're like, oh, you're wrong. And I can prove it. And I'm proving it. They don't like that. They don't. But there's a lot of good male debaters out here. I do like being in the community of debating because I have developed very, very thick skin. Also, the whole thing, I went against a woman on Sean Kelly podcast. Why she was there, I have no idea. Because if you look at Sean Kelly, there are very many women on there and they debate. Okay, debating. I'm really going to get into debating it on a different level, talking about you have to pull out the um the aggressive, well, I should say aggressive, assertive dominance that is lying within all of us. And that is something in society that is looked down upon with women. No, not with women, men and programmed women look down upon that. But in debating, you have to do that. You can't sit back and be like, like I am now. I'm just chilling, you know. This is me. This is me. You know, it's not like I'm hard, you know, in a debate about something. But it's like when you're in this vibe, just being yourself as a woman, you're like, okay. Like if I was somebody in my life, not if, it's happening all the time. Even it doesn't have to be a male that's not in your life. It could even be your brother. It could be your son, your dad, your husband, your boyfriend. It could be a coworker. They might be like, you're wrong. You know, there's no NDEs and it's all wrong. And me and my when I'm not debating, I'm like, well, okay, if you say that, I'm just like this. I'm like, yeah, yeah, actually it is. But I have a book if you want to read it. That's how I'd say. And I'll be like, I got a book and or you could go look it up. And then they go, okay, well, I'll look it up and it's over. See, that's the people accept that. I mean, we're all programmed actually. Some of us are breaking that program when we're debating. In debate forums, I won't do that. If somebody's like, you're wrong, there's no such thing as NDE. And Dr. Bruce Grayson, um, he never studied people who actually passed away. He just was studying people who almost passed away. So, by the way, I'm talking. Shout out to Ankh, our brother Ankh, because he said that to me. So, in a debate forum, it's different. I say, oh no, you're no, that's not true because here he is shown uh, clinically deceased people, and I can get that information and I can prove you wrong. See, it's different. It's like more of a masculine vibe where you're like, I'm going to dominate what you just said, not dominate him. And I want to talk about that too. I have to make a note of that. See, I don't want to dominate the actual male that I'm debating, but there is an assertion of dominance because you want to dominate that information. You want to debunk it. And before you debunk it, you have to dominate it. Like I control this information. Like if like when Suntan said, "Oh, I study." Now he's saying he chases. All right, whatever. He said I studied electrons. Then he said I chase electrons. I didn't want to dominate the elder, the male. I am only looking at the information, and it is so easy. Also, you know, it's like I can eat it alive. Like, it's like you got to look at it like that. And I wish more men would see that's what I'm doing. We're all doing it. Men, they do it with each other, but then sometimes we all cross a line where we feel like a personal, because they do, there is such things ad homs. So then when they get personal, then it becomes like, oh, she's being masculine. She's a feminist. But for the most part, I'm just saying, as a woman, as you see, it says woman in debates, how women in the debate forum have reshaped his story and her story. I don't look at, uh, I don't care. I could be debating a giraffe. It could be a male giraffe or a female giraffe. But I'm saying I could be debating AI, which I did once do that with Gemini. I was bored. I could be debating it's not about the person or the messenger that it comes from. I don't care. I'm going to dominate the information. And it's a slippery slope and it's very, you know, thin line because my information is a part of me. Okay. That's why you got to be careful and have information that you know is solid and that you can fight for, like mediumship. Shout out to my brother Ashe and the Bomb Squad. I saw your show today. I watched a little bit of it. I have something to talk to. I actually study the Victorian age as far as mediumship and spiritualism. And it was a, there was a burst of so many people coming out saying, I can do this, I can do this. And it's not changed. We have that in the consciousness community. People are always like, I want to show you I can do this. I know this. And I'm Billy Carson. I have sat with aliens and I do this and that. Well, I don't know if Billy Carson is telling the truth or not. I don't know if Rod Hayes is actually having these experiences. I don't know if anyone has had these experiences, but I know I have. I know I have had these experiences, close encounters. I'll talk about that. Got to make a note of that. I'll talk about that with King Simon. Had close encounters of the first, second, third, fourth, kind, fifth. There's a different definition about fifth, so I kind of leave that out. But my point is, we all are putting our information on the table, just like that during the age of the Victorian age of spiritualism, which also it's interesting because that's a part of the Gilded Age when industry. Yes, it's coming right out of it's a, not far away from the Gilded Age. Get what I'm saying? When industry was coming forward in science, more science, was speed. There wasn't even the laws of thermodynamics weren't even established yet, discovered and established. That's why there were a lot of charlatans like what's his name? Y'all know the guy. His name escapes me, but oh man, John Newborough. Yeah, I can remember. There, I got it. John Newborough. He was talking about, you know, stuff that he didn't really, what's it called? He called something. He was just saying a lot of stuff, and right after he made all that stuff up, excuse me, then he passed away, and then the laws of thermodynamics the research was done, things were discovered, and those laws were established, and they went completely against what he was talking about. So, yes, what I'm saying is there were definitely people who were saying stuff that was not mesmer. I don't completely like. I don't see them as scam artists, though. I don't see them as scam artists, but I guess you could say scamming if you want to use that word, but I see them as people who just said, this is how it's going to, I said it's this way, and I really believe it's this way. Even, I don't care if I'm wrong. And I'm going to take advantage of people with this information, and they're going to look at me and really look at me treat me with great reverence, and I'm going to be so great. It's not changed, has it? Now, I'm not saying that about Rod Hayes or Billy Carson. Well, because I mentioned them, I want to make that clear. Because I actually like Rod Hayes as a person, and I know he really believes what he teaches. I haven't sat down with Billy Carson. However, I think Billy Carson, for the most part, believes what he teaches. Some of it, though, I think Billy's just like convinced himself of things that are so far away from things he knows. So I wouldn't put Billy and Rod in the same category in that sense. However, what I'm saying is, even though that was in the 1800s, when they were doing a lot of different stuff, it hasn't changed. Now, going back to the 1800s, there were a lot of people who were exploiting people's pain and grief. And that's where I will also discuss thanatology. I don't really talk about thanatology too much online in these debate forums because I don't know, I just haven't had that opportunity actually. I mean, I don't think I've had that opportunity. It just the vibe is off because with thanatology, it's so it's a sensitive science. You know, when I say sensitive, I mean you're dealing with grief and the process of grief and the understanding of what we know as death. Death is not evil, it's not bad. Now, when people do things and they take lives, then that's bad. Because why? What are you taking that from someone for? You have the audacity to take someone's life. You don't get to do that and get away with it. You set yourself when you take a life, even if it's in war, and even if it's in self-defense, that spirit is connected to you forever. See, this is stuff I can talk about with King Simon that I can't really talk about so much in the toughest environment. That's a source up or shut up, because this is a metaphysical level, and this is a talking about the paranormal, and even you can tie parapsychology into thanatology. It's exciting to talk about death. And then some people say, "You're so preoccupied with death." They say that about the Kemet. Oh, they were so preoccupied with death. My name is Budge, and Wallace Budge, and I'm going to say that I will. It's an English accent, right? British. I say that the Kemetic savages were so preoccupied with death. I want to call their writings the Book of the Dead. That's what I will say, because they're so just consumed by the concept and the idea of death, because that is one community, one culture, one time with one people that actually could get it, that death isn't. I'm not saying they're the only ones, but those are the ones that I know stand out, especially in this community. Death isn't something that's so evil. Oh my gosh, it's so scary. I'm scared. Now, is there always going to be an element of fear in a transition? In a very serious transition, of course. Even when you go into a new job, you're transitioning. Oh, I'm fear. I don't know what's going to happen. I feel good about it. So even when you're going to have when you're a family and you're going to give birth, I don't know I'm scared. This is really, especially if it's a new child, right? That's always transitioning. There's this element of fear because there's that unknown, and that is what death is. And then also from those that are left in this material world, when the person's spirit transition, their energy, you see things that you don't like. What's the main thing you see? Goes into thanatology. The first thing you see is something you don't like is someone that I really loved their life. I loved their energy that moved this this biological system, this which is called the body, the flesh. I loved it. I loved how their what is it? Their pharynx and their larynx would make sounds that I call their voice. I loved how, they would take their arms and with the sympathetic system, they worked it out to just take those arms and move their muscles, that kinetic uh, energy. They move their muscles and they come and they wrap their arms around and they give me they bring me close. That's called a hug. It's all biological and scientific, right? However, this is thanatology. Like in all these biological systems, in the electrical pulses that are generating are coming from the heartbeat, right? That electricity that's moving through your body and through your brain, that's all biological. It's mainstream science. The part that's the thanatology is when all those systems stop, when that energy is left or leaving the body of that person that I'm, magnetizing to or loving or interested in. That's something that not the dying person is sad about, but the one who remains. That's the end. That's the part that it starts to blend from biology into psychology. Get it? Goes into psychology now. And then you can take it into a metaphysical level because thanatology isn't specifically metaphysical, it isn't specifically spiritual, but what I love about it is you can, because there's grief, and then then it gets in the conversation of like, how is this grief here? I know it is a chemical reaction, and it's a reaction of trauma from losing, right? But it still can go to like the conversation of consciousness, which is really very still discussed and debated. So what I'm saying is the amazing thing about that is you can take whatever you have. If you have someone who's dealing with loss and you want to study or explain grief, if that person is a theist or even if they're agnostic, you can start to entertain things about grief and loss and transitioning and the remaining energy that just transforms to something else. And that is why I always joke around saying, oh, I'm pseudo, because I will use like one of the laws of thermodynamics. Energy doesn't die. I'm doing air quotes. It just changes to some other form, right? So then you can sit with someone if they're open and you say, this is all like, there's studies and there's methods, and you can say, okay, um, so there's death here. And we know all about how death works biologically, scientifically, right? Physiologically, with the systems shutting down, biologically, the body can't sustain sustain the energy to run the systems correctly, right? So we have everything failing. I mean, organs and right. So we know that's called dying. We call that dying. But if you sit with somebody and you can work, you figure out what their like where they are, and say, well, don't look at it like that. I'm just giving you a hypothetical. Don't look at it like that. Look at it as the time for that material biological system to transition into something that is not what you see in front of you. It's it's transitioning into earth or something, like, oh, it's transitioning into something that must be in the earth, you know, and you say, okay, you can plant seeds. They're seeds, but they change into plants, trees, they come out of the ground. And then, not saying someone is a seed, but you're given that idea like the flesh returns to the earth. It doesn't even go away. So they're never gone. And then you say, okay, and then the part that you really enjoyed that controlled that biological system, the energy, the spirit, that part isn't dead either, because not only can we see it in science, we can see it in we can sense it in on a metaphysical spiritual level, right? On a metaphysical level. Like then you go into like parapsychology, and which is there's parapsychology, there's metapsychology, there is just basic mainstream academic science psychology. And it's a fascinating thing to be able to help a person get into a mode of, okay, I understand death. I thought it was not my friend. I thought it was the grim reaper that comes and snatches me up and snatches up people I love. It's a lot easier to get a grip of that when it's not a tragic passing, transitioning. When you know, illness, nobody likes anything about losing. Let me get that straight. Illness, tragedy that takes someone that we love is always not a good thing for us. It really isn't, because when I say it's not a good thing, let me be clear. It's not a bad thing either. But I mean, on the surface, it's like, oh, this really hurts. But I accept it. I wrote that in my song. And when you get to the point from it hurting, then you go through that valley of grief. And no one, don't let anybody tell you, oh, you should only grieve for 2 years, or you should only grieve for 6 months. Why you still, there is no, there is no time frame of grief. Grief comes in waves. You know, a memory can trigger sadness after loss, or it can trigger immense joy. And it's interesting in those times. I want you to listen to this. As I don't usually talk about this because I'm kind of like everywhere with it, but this is something that I do. And so she don't do that. All she do is shit on the internet. I always do that voice when I'm talking about somebody I'm irritated with. It could be a country, old country, redneck, or it could be just anybody. So people like, why she always do that? Because I don't know why I do that. But like when somebody's irritated and just close minded and wants to stay ignorant, I do that impersonation. So just don't worry about that. But I'm saying it's like, I don't talk about it too much because it's the unknown and the environment. When you're in a certain environment, people wanna it's a debate. I like it. Hey, you like it, I love it. It's a debate forum. So I don't go into like a lot of this. But when I was doing esoteric thoughts, oh my goodness, that was all we did. Um, I really miss my friend. Wow, that guy was great. He really loved us over here. And he and his family. What a great family. Um, we talked about death and transitioning. Oh, such a wonderful, wonderful experience. Feels so good to just so-called let your hair down. It just be let your hair not down, let your afro, rise or move. Just let it free, free your head and just chill out and be like, yeah, I get what you're saying. Get what you're saying about that. Like, for instance, too, some people might say, I was talking about the time, like how long. There's no number of grief. Like, there's no date or you did this long enough. You can grieve as long as you like. You can go through the different emotions. You don't let anybody tell you, oh, well, you were already crying. Why are you still crying after 2 years? Now, are you supposed to slip into a depression where you do not take care of your life? No. That is something that I can tell you that I help people with. You can be sad and also content at the same time. You can say, what example can I give to you? It's like when your team, I know these people really get into basketball and football. Some people really get crazy. Man, unalived his life over football. So your team loses. They lose the Super Bowl. The pain. Of course, it's not as bad as losing a loved one, but I'm giving you an example. The pain is so immense for them. But see, in football, I think, well, they have they have an idea of, oh, I got hope though, because they can always try again next year. You have to put that type of mentality on grief. When somebody says, no, because death is so final, that's a program. We've been programmed to say, because throughout time, even in prehistoric time, you can see there's evidence of like Neanderthals and different, of course, Homo sapiens, different species of the early humans. Looking at the ones that lost that transitioned, and they're like, why? Wow, this is not cool. They're not singing anymore. Why won't they open their eyes? Why are they so limp and at first, and now why are they so rigid? And why are they decomposing? This is so uncool. This is so uncool, right? This is so bad. That's what they at I won't even say they thought bad. This is like this doesn't feel good. Because I like when this person tells me stories. I like when this person laughs with me. I like when this person tells me that I'm special. I like this person. I like knowing that this person is just here in this world. I like knowing that this person is somewhere, even though I haven't spoken to this person. Now I'm not just talking about prehistoric, but like if I haven't spoken to this person, I like knowing they're there. Sometimes people are so dangerously consumed with grief that you have to get them into like a state of, you might say, okay, that's delusion, and that's not, there's a controversial therapy where you can say, well, you know, this person is still here. They're just on vacation. There's certain things that could do. That gets back to the hope for the next Super Bowl or the next, NBA finals. Get it? The pain is so immense, but with grief we've been taught, and that's it. Nothing else. And that's not fair, and that's not true. That's not it. And so you work with different people, you meet people where they are. Like if you're dealing with an agnostic, or even an atheist, they can see things happening. Of course, they revert to, or they actually rely on, oh, well, I know I saw so and so standing down the hall, but it's my mind. My mind's playing tricks on me, and I'm going to let you know. Okay, if that's what you want to say, if you're an atheist and that is what you want to say, that's fine. But you have to use that Some people know it is the actual spirit, like an imprint in an imprint of energy. When we talk about spectrums and ghosts and things, they leave imprints of energy in the ether, in the I'm laughing because I know people like pseudo. Well, whatever. They leave an imprint. But if you're an atheist, you could say, all right, I'm for sure I'm looking at this person down the hall, but this must be my mind. And this must be grief, that I'm so traumatized by grief, and that my mind I'm having delusions. Even if you do that, you have to change that thought as being something negative, because we've been taught delusions are always negative. Well, if I'm in the desert, if I see a mirage of an oasis with water, that's bad because I know there's no water there and I walked all the way over here. That's not the same as seeing someone that is transitioned and you think it's your mind. I respect that and I say, well, your mind is trying to help you cope with the loss. So let your mind help you cope with the loss. You know? It's like when somebody's trying to, when they give the kid a shot and they distract the child, this child's still gonna get the shot. The needle's still gonna hurt. But they're like, oh, look at over here. You see this little puppy? Look at this stuffed animal. Get it? So it's if you're an atheist, it's a coping to get you through those very, very uh, precarious moments of possibly slipping into um, a serious, I call it psychosis, obviously. Grief can be, grief is now being studied more, but it could be devastating. There are people who not this isn't even atypical. There are people who transition not far after, not long after they lose a loved one, that they just that's their world. Like you see that happen all the time. Like, oh, my grandmother, she passed, and my grandfather did, he passed 2 weeks later. Or this man, there's a story of this man, his daughter, I forget how she passed away, but he was so consumed with grief. That's actually a study that it's brought up. If you take a course on thanatology, or if you just go and even just listen to some lectures, or just and sit in a couple classes, there's death doula, thanatologist. Thanatology is with a lot of death doula certifications. You may go over thanatology, but there's a lot to talk about on that. So I might go into that. But what I'm saying is, even if you see somebody and you think, oh, that's not real, let yourself not think that. Let yourself say, well, even if you think it's not real, let yourself say, well, okay, it may not be real, but my mind is so wonderful. What an amazing thing that my mind is soothing me. How much love does myself love me? How much love does my mind, my amazing brain? I'm talking to those who may not believe, right? My brain is saying it's okay. That's what I was going to talk about with the NDEs when we talk about Dr. Bruce Grayson and the near-death experience scale. Basically people who passed. Like, there are mainstream science accepts that scale, but then there are, of course, there are opponents, people who are against that idea of an afterlife, and they say, well, there's this third man phenomenon where the brain is so consumed with it's overloaded, like it's overloaded with fear, and then because of that, you sense somebody there with you. I'm talking about NDEs, and I'm gonna move that into grief. So they say like your brain copes with it, with the just the overwhelming fear of dying. And even in NDEs, they say, well, the reason you see these things is because your brain is so overwhelmed with fear of dying that you start seeing all these things and people and visions, and then the calming is just like your neurotransmitters just firing off all this dopamine and just stuff to just calm, oxytocin, everything, just boom boom, okay, calm down. So that's the side of the the explanation of someone who's an atheist, right? Or who just rejects anything that is paranormal. However, in grief, I could sit down with which I have once with an atheist and be like, okay, yes, you understand that your brain is doing all of that. So let your brain do that for you and be at peace. I'm not talking about the NDE, but I'm talking about like seeing someone, seeing a loved one, or smelling their perfume or their scent, hearing their voice. So you could be like, okay, I'm going to let that work for me in my grief. It's never been documented that someone just slips into like a la la land, like it just all stays in a state of delusion, like they're here, they're right here. It's very unlikely. Something else would be underlying, like some other kind of psychosis or some other mental illness. So what am I saying? There's a lot to talk about. So let me see. I'm gonna close this down. What's up, Jeff? Your Grace, these are interesting teachings. Okay, thank you, Caleb. Um, can no, Canoom. I like Canoom, that name. We in this like ASMR. Oh, is it? Is the Grim Reaper different from Kronos, the father of time? Yes, FS Drathio. The Grim Reaper is different from Kronos. The Grim Reaper is gosh, like it's the like the captain or the navigator on the boat of on the river Styx. It's like the one who takes you. Like, come on, let's go. It's time for you to go. I I'm not sure, but I think Baba Legba is also that like that. Like he has an aspect of it's time for you to go. Let me see though. Let's see. That's a good question. But Kronos is just he not just the father of the Titans and just self-consumed, eating his children because he was just didn't want one of them to take over. Let's see this. I'm gonna read this for you though, because that's a good question. I know the river Styx related to Kronos, not Kronos, to the Grim Reaper, but I'll read this for you. Thanks for that question. Uh, all right, let's see here. Okay, the Grim Reaper originated in the 14th century Europe during the Black Death Plague. As mass mortality devastated the continent, art and folklore merged skeletal decay with agricultural scythe, symbolizing how death cuts down human lives like crops to create iconic hooded figures. Okay, the dance, death, religious art plays feature skeleton, the scythe, the dog farming tool. Um, I'm going to talk to you about the river Styx. Let me see. Um, let me get it. That's how I know. But we just saw the actual Grim Reaper that we talk about is for according to AI. It says the 14th century. Now we know. Hold on. we know that there are the angel of death. Um, I gotta see if Baba Legba is something that comes for you when it's time to go. Oh, there's also a spirit. I forgot. She was a female, a feminine spirit Greek in Greek mythology. She came for these sisters that had like this string. They wove string. I can't remember her name. I used to have this. We had to study some stuff when I was in Catholic school, Catholic middle school, junior high, and I remember there were these sisters that had string, and one of them would cut the string of life. Hold on. Um, to I got you. Um, okay, I'm going to get it right now. Okay, so excuse me. Okay. um, Okay, here it is. The Grim Reaper and the River Styx are connected through their roles as psychopomps, entities, or symbols responsible for guiding souls from the land of the living to the afterlife. While they come from different eras and mythologies, they share a direct functional link in how humanity conceptualizes. There's that word. That's our word over here, right? Conceptualizes the journey of death. The mythological connection. Sharon's role, it might be Karen, because it is Greek, so let's see. Charon, it might be Charon's role. In Greek mythology, Charon is the skeletal or decrepit ferryman. See, like, you know how the Grim Reaper is like skeletal? The decrepit ferryman who safely transports souls across the river Styx to Hades. Charon's depiction as a ragged, grim, and skeletal oarsman directly influenced the modern imagery of the Grim Reaper. The toll, souls needed a coin. Oh yeah, who had the coin? Was that huh? There was one who went, gosh, that I'm trying to think of the mythological Cupid. I think it was Cupid. Cupid and Psyche. I might be wrong, but Psyche was the girl, the in the Greek mythology, she falls in love with. I think its name is Cupid, the one who's always with Aphrodite. You know, so she falls in love with him, and then like something happens where she has to go. And I'm rusty, but basically it's Greek mythology. They have to use a coin to get a ride across the river Styx. The Reaper similarly represents the inescapable finality and cost of mortality. While Charon, or Sharon, I think it's Charon harvests souls via a watery boundary. The Reaper, Grim Reaper, uses an agricultural harvest metaphor to gather souls from the earth. So the medieval folklore of the Grim Reaper emerged much later during the 14th century when during the Christian excuse me, Christian plague eras. The river Styx and Charon or Sharon belong to ancient polytheistic religion. Passive versus active. Sharon or Charon merely waits at the river, excuse me, at the river to transport the dead, while the Reaper actively hunts and cuts down life. So that's that. That's the answer. That was a good question. Thank you, FS Drathio. Let me see. Thank you. Miss Napah, the way you speak about psychologists is the only way you speak someone. Mhm. Thank you, Caleb. You're very kind. Deaf is deaf. Oh, mm, okay. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna summer jam that. I liked it. Okay. All right, guys. Let's see here. Babylon Dunn says, "Oh, of course. Here comes the contention. Let's go ahead and summer jam this." Napah, come on now. You might as well throw Terrence Terriology Howard in too. See, that's why I don't really thank you, Babylon Dunn. This is exactly why I don't really get into that too much over here. I'm not saying on my channel, I mean over here in the toughest environment. But I did want to promote this. Trace electrons. Oh dear. Peace, George, Richard, Peace Nike with the tech. That's you on your white shorts. I love on your YouTube shorts. I love them. You embrace your beauty so perfectly. Thank you. I embrace all of my everything. Thank you so much for saying that. I embrace my natural. I embrace my glam. Who doesn't like glam? Come on. Girls love dressing up, don't we? But thank you. All right. Terrence Howard is intelligent. He's your bestie? Awesome. All right. So, anyway, go subscribe to King Simon's channel. And I think I could get it. Let me see if what it should be on there, but I'm gonna get sneezing and yawning. Mm, that's what I'm talking about. She is? How can she be AI? She's sneezing, darling. Soon AI will be sneezing and yawning. And then what will we do? Oh, I was gonna say that's why the more imperfect you are. You know, I used to be like, "Oh, my bags," or, "Oh, I don't like I'm gaining weight," or, "I have my wrinkles, whatever, my head, my hair's not right." When you're not in this age, listen, I'm figuring it out. The more imperfect you are, the more appealing you are, because everything is so perfect, and that so perfect is becoming general and, you know, uh, how do you say, common. And the reason perfect was so great is because so very few, it was rare, like a rare gem. But if there's perfect everywhere and flawless, it's going to be common. The rarity will be imperfect, flawed, human. That's why on my channel too, so thank you for mentioning my shorts. I like to do little songs that I make up. And yeah, I do have songs with music, and I would like to add music to more of my songs, but I like the ones that I do and I put them up there on the shorts, like my song I have Hope, it's called Hope, and then I have a song called Lucifer and Funk Unica, and I have a lot of songs. But you could tell they're not AI because it's like, what's this crap? I can hear her breathing and nostril air coming out. You know, I hear swallowing. That's the good thing now. Get it? It's like I can hear the chair squeaking in the background. This is crazy. Before we used to be like, oh, edit that out. But now AI isn't doing that. You got to get, AI, the voices of AI when they sing aren't cracking, you know? But humans are. All right. You get what I'm saying? You understand? You understand what I'm getting at? Yeah? So I prefer to be imperfect because when I'm imperfect, it's like I'm rare. And I like that. Yeah? Understand? You get what I'm saying? Yeah? Okay, perfect. Anyway, my friends, let's see. This will be the last thing I read. Asking Napah, 1 times 1 equals, I'm asking for a friend. Babylon done? If you're doing math, 1 times 1 is 1. If you're doing teriology, Terrence Howard teriology, 1 times 1 is, I think he said it's 2, but in mathematics, 1 only 1 time is 1. But in teriology, as you say, he's saying you do 1 and you hit it with 1. Now you have 2. See, he's doing it. He's telling, it's not math that he's doing. He's doing something on the outside, something metaphysical. He's saying, I have 1, and he's looking at it more as a copy instead of like the math that says, if I only have 1, and that's really what 1 times 1 is. If I only have 1, take your finger and put up 1. I only have 1. So that was that 1 time, right? That's all I have is 1. But he's looking at it as you take 1 and you copy it. The factor will be 2. He's looking at it as copying it. Like you take 2 and you copy it twice. What will it be? 6 to him, right? Because it's like you're saying, he's thinking like you take a 1 and you go and you like strike it with the 1 to like copy it. Like imagine like striking it with a magic wand. Like I have 1 magic wand and I will strike this other wand. Boom. Now I have 2 wands. I have 2 wands, and I take these other 2 wands and I strike those 2 wands. Boom. Actually, that would be 4. That's interesting. Wait, that would be 4. And isn't that interesting? Now, if I was him, I would say, I might talk about this on King Simon because he's a numbers expert. I would say 2 times 2 is really 4. And I'd be right. 3 times 3 is really a 6. It's just upside down. Oh, she ain't with that one. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. 4 times 4, you think is 16. But it's only half of a 16. Okay? See, that's how I would spin it. Hit me up, Joe Rogan. Bring me on. 5 times 5. 5 times 5. You're saying 5 times 5? You think it's 25. Mm-mm. It's negative 15 and positive 10. Oh, actually, no, that's wrong. Positive 20. Wait, I messed up. See, I probably get kicked off. She's fake. All right. So anyway, I'm just joking. I don't know. He's speaking 369. Okay. Well, if he's speaking 369, and going toward the teachings of Tesla, 1 times 1 still isn't even. If we only do 369, which I absolutely got to talk about this. Thank you for talking about this. See how see the energy, how this flowed? Because I got to talk about this with King Simon. So let me get my notes together and talk. I'll look into. I really never looked into what Terrence was saying, just on the surface, what he says. But 369, so amazing. But 9 out of those 3 numbers is the master. 9 is the master. That's the most. You would think that the 9 would be the most complicated one. But for me, because I think the 3, the 6, they're in the 9. I think it's fascinating. Of course, the 9 is if you're doing tenths and hundreds and thousands, the 9 could be in a 3 and a 6. I'm just talking about from 0 to 9. So I wonder why is he saying 369? Because 1 times 1 would be 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not 3, right? Or is he saying the 1 times 1 is a 1, and then the factor would be the 2, and then you would make it a 3? Oh, interesting. Very interesting to go and research. I will be seeing what Terence is bringing forward, and I myself will bring it forward to King Simon once I'm on his show, August 18th. Don't miss me. You'll be very, very sorry if you do. So don't miss it, guys. Okay. Terrence. Oh, look at this. Terrence's book is free. I gotta get it. But I was just promoting the show, King Simon, and I'm gonna talk to you about that. I'm gonna just ask you not so much about Terrence's book, of course, but just what he's getting at. We can kind of cover that. I've got to make notes of what I want to talk to you about. Of course. Thank you. I am so honored to be invited and to be able to sit down with you. You have a great audience and a great lineup. And I will be part of that lineup. I am part of that lineup. So August 18th, 2026. I know you're interviewing me. What do you think I know you're interviewing me. Oh, I get it. You don't want me asking you any questions about the numbers. You know what? I got you. You're interviewing me. So I still want to put out. I was talking about the afterlife. You know, that's my area of expertise as far as I was talking about thanatology and death doula, grief, cycle life, like not just birth, but cycle life. So yeah, that's gonna be great. You gonna talk to King Simon and not me? What's that? Oh, Babylon Dunn, did you send me something in an email? I didn't know you. King Simon is one of the OG greats. Come on, of course I'm gonna talk to King Simon, but that doesn't mean that I can't talk to other people. I think you sent me something. If you did, remind me. I'm sorry. My email is so full. Send it again. Anyway, I got to close this down. I've been up here for a while. I'm starting to act silly. Y'all can see I'm doing my voice impersonations, my accents. So I absolutely love doing them. Okay, so yes, King Simon is interviewing me. August 18th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Time, and 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Thank you for your super chat. Knoom Com. I like that, Knoom. I remember when I was doing my debate. Let me go ahead and get this down. Hold on. I was gonna do my debate against Sister Wise. And I was researching all this stuff on Kemet. and I found out about Khnum and the pyramid, the Great Pyramids of Giza. So I was like, oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to read it, Babylon Done. You got to send it to me again. Please forgive me and bear with me. I can't. Trying to summer jam this. Can't summer jam it. One moment, please. Send it again, please. Let me read this super chat. All right. Khnum, come with the great name, has sent a $5 super chat. And I appreciate it immensely. And we're thankful for your support. And you being here is amazing and just great as well. So, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and close this down. I did want to show you this show is coming up. King Simon, Napah Shadah. He's interviewing me. I'm not interviewing him. But I will interview you, King Simon, because I would like to bring you over here and do an interview. I don't think I've interviewed you. I know I brought you. Did I bring you to that class I was doing? The course that I did with the women, the esoteric of the Bible? Yeah, we're going to talk about that. That's another thing I like to talk about. Anyway, everyone, peace and love. Yes, I sent you an email. Do you mind sending it again? Because it's probably really like hidden under a bunch of emails. All right, y'all. It's like that, y'all. It's like that, y'all. It's like that, y'all. Oh, you know what I was thinking? Tomorrow I might be on the round table. I'm not sure if shout out to Morpheus and the round table. Go subscribe to that channel. Just as you should subscribe to King Simon's channel at King Simon Presents. Go subscribe, of course. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. He has a lot of great shows over there. So the round table with Morpheus. We were talking about I was talking about the creeds and how they don't change. They didn't really change much. And then I thought about how rap is. Like, who doesn't remember Sugar Hill Gang rap? I mean, if you're younger, you don't, but like if you were even born in the 70s or 80s, you heard people rapping that everywhere, right? And Juicy with Biggie with and what else? Like all Biggie's first Ready to Die album, Tupac stuff. You remember stuff. I know Paul Revere like the back of my hand, the Beastie Boys. I know that. And that was out when I was little, like, and not that little, but little. So my point is, of course they could remember creeds, you know? Just want to say that. Peace, Tootie. All right. Appreciate you as well, King Simon. That is why I can't wait to sit with you. This is the show. Go to the channel. Please subscribe. Don't forget. Don't say, okay, I'll do it later. And let me go get a glass of warm milk and go watch some reruns of Sanford and Son. I'm going to do that, y'all. Sometimes I watch Sanford and Son to fall asleep. Ooh, I love that show. Fox is hilarious. How do you think I get my funny stuff? I grew up with my dad listening to Red Fox, and I would sneak and crawl and hide behind the love seat. And we had like a rust color. My family, my parents, they had red carpet throughout the house, burnt orange, like rust color sofas, red drapes, big like a bust of like these African statues, like African heads, long heads, so sitting on the side of the stereo. And we had the stereo that was like a big bureau. It was a huge, when I say bureau, I mean like a counter. Stereos were like half a ton, or actually a quarter ton, I should say, not 1,000 pounds, but like big, heavy, wooden, elaborate pieces of furniture and little, my dad had a little bar inside of it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying, if you know what I'm saying, like with the little ice bucket and, then they had the record player. It was such a big deal with the 8-track, like, oh, you don't have to even worry about the record. You could put one record on top and rest it on the arm while one record's playing. When that one's done, remember that little metal thing that you put the phonograph on, the record with the hole, and it had that little oh my gosh. I can't explain what it is. It retracts. It's like it would be up on the arm and then it just drops down and then the needle comes over. My dad was like, oh, his friends be like, oh, this is good. Wow, this is nice. Anyway, my dad would be watching Red Fox and I'd sneak in the living room. Oh, sure. Behind the sofa and listening to it. I mean, it didn't matter they were saying dirty stuff because I didn't even understand it. But he was pretty funny. Richard Pryor as well. Here it is. Richard Pryor, Red Fox. Who else? Bill Cosby used to be funny. I know he's terrible because what he did, but he was a funny guy. Who else is an old? Oh, Flip Wilson. Who else? What was the one guy's name? Who knows? Rhett. I can't remember his name. He wasn't as funny, but he was like a light-skinned red guy too. But he used to wear like a snap cap. And can't think of any more funnier. But Richard Pryor, Red Fox, excuse me, Flip Wilson, a lot of funny ones. Even the white ones I found funny too. Like Steve Martin was funny to me. He was goofy funny, like slapstick. I couldn't stand Gallagher. Oh, it's not funny at all. You've seen those kind of comedians, correct? The ones who aren't even funny, but they're so popular. Sam Kinison, he wasn't funny at all. Not even a little bit. Dan Aykroyd was funny. Chevy Chase, hilarious. What other old John Belushi was he was funny, but I didn't like all that. I don't like slapstick and a lot of, what do they call it? I don't like all that falling out and, you know, do like Chris Farley. I don't like all that. Oh, but what was the guy? Not He was a big guy. He was funny. John Candy was hilarious. Oh, Martin Short used to be funny too. I don't know. He was hilarious actually. Who else? Martin Short. Those are the old ones. Oh, I didn't really laugh at the women. They weren't very funny. The older comedians, the women. I can't even think of a woman comedian that I think is funny. I'm sorry, I can't. That's terrible, isn't it? Monique is funny sometimes to me. I just it's sad as the women, they have to talk very sexual. And I know the men do too, but The men don't always have to do it, but the women have to talk, like, about their sex life so much. Eh, I'm over it. But anyway, I'm going off topic. Oh, Carol Burnett and Vicki Lawrence are hilarious. Oh, I'm so glad you said that. Oh, I would have been so mad at myself. Mama's Place or was it Mama's Family? Oh my goodness, Carol Burnett and Vicki Lawrence. And now you remind me also of the Golden Girls. Oh my gosh, they're so funny. They are hilarious. Like, oh, and I like Lily Tomlin. She's funny. I'm naming the older ones. Lily Tomlin. I know there has to be some. Carol Burnett is hilarious. Vicki Lawrence is hilarious. I can't think of anybody else. But anyway, thank you for reminding me. All right, everyone, I will let you go. Why was I forgetting Lucille Ball? Thank you. I'm like, yeah, why am I not thinking of the I guess I was thinking more stand up. That's why. Now Lucille Ball is hilarious. Oh my goodness. I love Lucy. Now, oh, you're making me think of stuff now. Well, who else? Name some more. Name one more. Name one more. I love Lucy. She was so funny. I can't think of any other ones, but when you name them, I'm like, yeah, they're hilarious. Um, yeah. All right. Lucy did oh, she did? Wow. I never saw that. Da na 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 na. All right. This is really the end. Joan Rivers I thought she was okay. Meh. I think she did do some funny stuff, but she did stand up. Yeah. But Lucille Ball is hilarious. I like Joan Rivers though. I just didn't like what she said about Michelle Obama. Uh, and that's what I think, Joan. All right, everyone. Thank you for reminding me of them. Joan Rivers was good though. She was a good comedian. Whoopi Goldberg was funny. Oh my goodness. You know who almost okay, duh. No. Whoopi Goldberg and Ellen DeGeneres. Oh my gosh, Ellen DeGeneres is hilarious. Her stand-up has me in tears before she had her shows and everything. When she was first, was doing her stand-up before she even came out, I think. That woman she had me in tears with her stand-up. So there are women. All right, thank you, Babylon Done. Peace, everybody. Peace, Arius Sims. I like that name. It's very like, hello, Arius. We meet again. It's like very, how do you say? Battlestar Galactica / Star Wars Arius / like, sounds like one of those names. We're coming in. We're coming in closer to the mothership. Arius, launch us to hyperspace or whatever. I like that name, Arius. Peace, Arius. Launching into hyperspace now, Captain. All right. All right, everyone. Go see this show. Have a nice interview with King Simon. And yeah, make a classic. Peace and love. Have a great Sunday and make it a fun day. I hope it's your number one day. You like how I did that, King Simon? Added the number in? The number one day? All right. Peace, everybody.